get the image and the rhetoric right, you can attract people from every strata in society simultaneously. And like I say, that is even, you know, if the Afro-Caribbean heritage or Asian heritage or whatever, if they've come here, if they love the British way of life, if they've adapted, if they've integrated, if they make a contribution, and these are the same people that are sick to death of seeing mass immigration coming in and changing the whole culture and foundation of our country. That's what I'm talking about, galvanizing people together with a common vision. And that's what you can do with moderate nationalism.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. Dashing chap, that's a silly question. I expected better from you. Are you okay for time, Gary? Because the questions are still coming in. What's your diary like for the rest of the night? Okay, good stuff then. We'll press on then, because I've got a couple myself. Shall I ask one myself or no? I'm going to ask this one first for Dino again. He's asking for your views on the economy and taxation for the bankers. What do you think of the bankers?
I think I probably think the same of bankers as most people think of bankers. I think they've got off very, very lightly. I think the government in this country and across the Western world have been scared off from doing what they should have done with the banks. I think what we should be seeing is much higher taxation on bankers. We need to change the it needs to be much more closely regulated. I think the deregulation with the banking and financial services was an idiotic mistake made by the Labour Party. The whole financial crisis that we face now, there are two threads which are responsible for that, and I'm afraid the Labour Party is one of them, because as long as the revenues were coming in, they were quite happy to see the banks doing whatever they wanted, and pure unadulterated greed as far as the bankers are concerned. I think what we have to do with the bankers is we have to get the taxation right. We have to find a way of capping the bonuses that they pay to themselves, and perhaps even break up some of these banks which are too big to fail, so that, you know, if they want to go off playing casino banking across the world again, if they get into trouble, they crash and burn. I don't understand why the British people should be expected to bail these bankers out. When you've got banks like RBS and Lloyds TSB that are largely owned by the British people, are in debt to the British people, and yet they are still turning around and paying themselves huge bonuses. It's an absolute disgrace, and there should be far more done about it now. If we had a nationalist party that was in a position to do anything about it, I would like to see them break up the banks and get the taxation system sorted.
Right. Now, well, in the nationalist room, what do you expect? Most of us are going to be in agreement with you, apart from the few Reds that we've made it on this evening. What about something like halal? I've been thinking about organising a campaign so that all meat is labelled as to whether it's halal or not. Not on religious grounds because it's Muslims or anything like that, but I just believe that people have a right to know whether they're eating halal meat, the same as they would if there's any other chemicals. So I've been thinking about getting this campaign going on something like that. But ideally what I'd like to see, Gary, is the outlawing of halal slaughter in this country, along with kosher, and so that this food, the way it's produced, would be banned in this country, but it could be imported with massive import tariffs. What do you think about halal meat and what we can do about it?
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think halal meat and of course kosher meat, if if animals were treated in that fashion in our normal slaughterhouse over here, it would be closed down, they would be fined. There's no way you get away with it. I mean, if you've seen, and I'm sure the majority of people in this room have seen videos of halal slaughter, it's barbaric. I don't think it should be allowed in this country. And yeah, as you say, if people, because of their religious convictions, would have to have halal meat, it should be imported. It should be imported from an Islamic country, presumably, where it's the normal practice, but it certainly shouldn't be allowed to be carried out in this country. I think it's disgraceful.
And yet our country does seem to be bending the rules on health and safety. Years ago, you weren't allowed to have bushmeat in this country, but now I notice that they've changed the law on what they call smokers, because some people like to eat lamb and sheep that has been cooked with a blowtorch. Very good reasons why you don't actually have it, but because of the outcry from the, if you like, the colonizers, we're having to change our laws to suit these people, to the detriment of the health of the British people. And just check here. Dash and chap, you're either British or you aren't. Gary, you cannot become British. Well, we've already dealt with that one. What is your new party going to be called? Is it likely to fail as the BFP is? A silly question. Nobody wanted it to fail. No guarantee that it will. Another question for Gary. What is so good about democracy, and why should a new party need lots of it? How would you like to see the perfect party run, Gary?
I'm not sure if there's such a thing as a perfect party. You have to strive for perfection. Why do I think that democracy is important? Okay, the person who asked that question, if you joined a political party, I don't know what party you're a member of, if any, but if you joined a political party, you paid your membership fees year in, year out, and that party didn't listen to you, didn't care about your opinions or your views. If you, let's say you wrote a letter to the chairman or an email to the chairman and said, look, I don't quite understand this, I've had this idea, blah blah blah, and you explain it, and the reply you get is, look, just pay your subs and be quiet, we'll do all the running of the party, we don't care what you think. You know, we want your financial support, we want your vote, but we don't care what you think. Is that a party that you'd want to be a part of? Or do you want to be valued? Do you want to feel that you're a part of something, and that as much as you care about the values that that party is fighting for on your behalf, that party values you as well? That's what I'm talking about with democracy, the right of the people to have their voice heard. And whether it's a political party or an MP, at every level, if you put yourself into the political arena, you should be representing the views of the people. That's democracy.
Well, I think we must be running out of ideas now. I think you've given some very good answers. You're quite comprehensive. If you've got any questions, now's the time to ask them, because some have got positively silly. How can a political party represent all viewpoints? Well, you can answer that one, Gary. We know that you can't represent all viewpoints. You can only represent the best of your ability, if you like. Get me out of this one, Gary.
I mean, it's obvious. You can't represent everybody's view. What you do is you represent the views of your membership and the people that support you. It's as simple as that. I mean, what I was trying to say before, I don't know if this is where it's come from, it was a misunderstanding of something I said earlier. What I was saying was, if you get the imagery and the rhetoric right, then you can appeal to people from every strata in society, whether it's working class, middle class, whatever. You can't appeal to everybody, but you can appeal to every section of society if you get it right. And I think that's where it's going to go. That's what's going to happen with nationalism. I think this idea that some people have that nationalists should stick to the working class as a certain individual we all know has said, just point it towards the sun and the star was it the sun and the star readers? I think it's a very arrogant attitude. I think you can appeal to everybody. All you have to do is put a bit more time, a bit more effort and a bit more work into it and really care about what you're doing.
Okay, thanks Gary. Let's what would you see as, well, basically I think JD Boss is asking what you see would be the difference between this new party and UKIP. I suppose really what he's asking is what you think of UKIP. We'll just listen to what Bertie Bird has to say first.
I just wanted to say really that if there's any more new parties starting up, many of the nationalist parties, I think 95% we all agree on. We're sitting here arguing the toss about the 5%, you know, trying to get everything absolutely perfect, which we'll never get. But one agreement that could possibly be is that we never stand against each other in elections. You know, if you've got a new party standing up in the BNP, let the BNP stand, whichever way it may be, whichever one comes in with most chance of winning. I would imagine you need some kind of agreement that we don't stand against each other, because all we're doing then is splitting the vote rather than backing one or the other up. So that's one thing to always bear in mind if there's new parties joining up, starting up. Now, my point of view, I think the British National Party policies, when you read through the policies, if you look at download the manifesto, to me, they're very, very good. I really can't really find anything that I wouldn't really agree. I don't agree with, even from from criminals to all the rest of it. You know what I mean? So that's a good starting point as far as I'm concerned. As in that it's very good policies. But anyway, I'll hand back to Jay. I just want to quickly say that.
Right, okay. Well, Bertie, once Brian Gerrish is on, I'll set up a date, and then we'll have you on and we'll ask you the questions, and I'm sure we'll be pleased to listen to your opinions. We're about to wind up now, Bertie. Okay, is it important? Okay, Bertie, I'm just going to ask Mr. Marshall to sort of wind up the evening, and then we can open the mic. Okay, that wasn't me, Bertie. Right, okay. Gary, I've just been through the questions now. I think that's about it. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing, if you like, closing the official part of the evening? Afterwards, of course, you're welcome to stay and chat with anyone you wish and answer any more questions, but then it will be a sort of informal thing, and people will be coming up to the mic and speaking to you directly. On behalf of the British Resistance Room, we'd like to thank you for coming here. That's great. Oh, just to let you know, guys, I will be talking to the other British Freedom Party and asking if they'd like to send across either James Whittle or Peter Mullins to make any rebuttals they wish, or just to have their say the same way that Gary has been accorded his say. So Gary, back to you. Thank you very much for coming over. I, for one, marks out of 10, 9.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. Yeah, just to close it off, what I'd say to people is, like I've said all the way through this, we don't know what the result of the Electoral Commission ruling is yet. We will know in the next few days. Whatever it is, the chairmanship of Peter Mullins and his supporters, if that is the sort of nationalism that you want, then, you know, I wish you all the best of luck. If that isn't what you want, if you want to be heard, if you want to be appreciated, if you want people who you can respect and who respect you, then if we do form this new party, as I've already said, you are all welcome to join us. We will honour your present membership that you've paid to the Freedom Party, and we'll get on and we'll do the job. As I said, we've already started to make moves